Hello, this is Nora Ryan from Dreambuild Software, and this is a video about flex fields and specifically discussing flex fields for servers. You can do flex fields for jobs, cases, and entities. Entities are clients, servers, and attorneys. To create flex fields for entities and to give you an idea for some flex fields you might want to put for servers, go into WebPST and click on the upper right hand corner, the down arrow, and then hit settings. There are lots of settings in PST, and now there's a new one called flex fields. If you click on this, you'll see what I just said. You can do flex fields for jobs, cases, or entities. None of these fields trade, and none of these fields are visible outside of your PST instance. Your clients will not see them. Your servers will not see them. Excuse me. If I click on entity definitions, you'll see I have some items already in here. You are going to have one tab that's going to be basically blank because you haven't set up any flex fields yet. You're going to have an add tab button, a delete tab button, and an add field button. Tabs are only for your organizational purposes. You can put all your flex fields on one tab if you would like. And if you only have a few, that might be what makes the most sense. You can add another tab by hitting the Add Tab button. And you can name it whatever you like. And that tab is now saved. You can delete a tab by hitting the Delete tab button, but you're going to get a big warning that points out that if you delete a tab, any flex fields that are on that tab will also be deleted, and you will not be able to see that data anymore. So if you have flex fields that you've used, just be aware you have to make sure you don't want to see that data anymore. I'm going to delete this tab because I just put it in for illustration purposes. So on a tab, you can add a field. Each tab has an add field button. If I go to add a field, I have choices. I need to give a name, and then I need to choose the type of field. There are several choices: a single line text, good for alphanumerical stuff, a multi-line text box if you want to put in notes, a date, a money field, a number field which must be an integer, no decimals allowed, or a drop-down field. This is where you can decide the choices that the PST user will have to select from, as opposed to filling out, just typing in a field. That would be a single line text field. So I have some examples here. First of all, for tabs, this is a good example for tabs. Tabs are how you can organize information, and you might have client information, server information, attorney information. And then I had created, if you watched another video, I created a sales rep tab just to show moving things around. I can move fields from one tab to another. So maybe I want this sales rep tab really back on the client tab. I can say, okay, move this back to client information. And it is moved back. I can also move the commission. I'm going to move that back. All right. And then I'm just going to get rid of this sales rep tab because I don't really want it anymore. Okay. So for servers, we have some specific examples because the fields you might want for clients are probably not the same ones you want for a server and vice versa. Examples that we have come up with are a server rating. This is a way that you can internally note servers that you definitely want to use and servers you kind of want to use, and servers that might be a last resort. So you see here, I've got a rating from 1 to 5, and I have put 1 is do not use, and 5 is preferred server. I can add another item by hitting the add in this drop-down choice. And I'm going to call it something new. I'm going to call it super duper, like the best server in the world. When you enter a drop-down choice, you have to give 2 things. The first thing is the label. This is the words that are going to show up in the drop-down list in PST. The second thing you need to enter is a value. This is for exporting. In most cases, I think these will be the same. So we have created an option that is by default checked where the value is the same as the label. And you can see as I type, the value changes as well. In this case, however, I just want the value, if I'm going to export this to an Excel file, to just be the number and not the super duper. Right? I'm going to hit accept, and you'll see it has put it at the bottom. Maybe I want these to be organized a different way. The little dots here, you see how this turns, my cursor turns into a little hand. I can move and reorganize the order in which things appear in the drop-down list. The order you have them here is the order the user will see in the drop-down list. So I can move things around. I can also create something as, name something as a default. I could say, oh, we'll start everybody by default. A new server is 3, okay to use. We don't know. Are they great? Are they not great? We don't know yet. But you don't have to have that clicked. I can delete something I don't want to have by hitting the delete button. So this is one example of the type of server flex field you might want to have for your internal processes. You might also want to have the server license expiry date if you are in a state or county or region where a server is required to be licensed. You might want to know if they're an apps member or not. So I've created this as a drop-down field with the choices of yes or no. And then you might want to have some server notes. All right. I'm just going to hit accept on this to save the changes. And now I'm going to show you where you find these when you're looking at a server. So we're going to go to contacts and servers. I'm just going to search servers to bring up a list. And let's look at this guy. When you bring up a server to edit, you'll see now there's another tab called Flex Fields. If I go in here, you have all the tabs that we created in the Flex Fields for entities. So I can just go to the server one and I can say, oh, what is this guy's server rating? You know what? He's a pretty high performer. His license expiration date in March of 2027. Is he a NAPS member? Yes, he is. And could give some server notes, whatever you might want to say. Good at getting info from neighbors or something. And I hit accept. That has saved those flex fields to this guy. So if I go back and I look at him again, you'll see that those flex fields, whoops, ha, those flex fields have been saved. Now, as you complete these for multiple servers, you might want to look at this data in aggregate over all your servers. So how do we do that? Well, let's go back to servers. Sorry, the search button. And we're going to talk about views. We have set up views here. We have a default view for you, PST-servers. You can modify this view and you could save it as a new view. If you are not familiar with how to use views in WebPST, send us an email and we can provide you a video that shows you how to create and save views. I'm just going to use this default PST server view. You can see all the information it has. But now I want to add the flex fields in. I go to the column chooser, and you have a list here. The list on the left are fields that are available that you're not showing right now, and the fields on the right are fields that you're showing. So some of these are the client ones, and some of them are the server ones. But I'm going to say, you know what? I would like server rating, and I'm going to add that item. Yeah. And I'm going to add if they're an apps member, because I'm interested in that. You notice they both default to the bottom, but I can move them up either here or in the results. So I'm going to put the server rating right after their name, and I'm going to hit apply. The view is updated to show the new fields that I have asked it to show. And just as a reminder, you can drag any field wherever you want in this view. So now we've got their name, their firm name, their server rating, and NAPS member right here. You'll see we filled out just a couple of these. If you want to find somebody with a server rating of 4, you can filter. You could also sort. So if I want to see, okay, I want the folks who are NAPS members or the folks I've set this up first. So you'll be able to sort based on whether they're NAPS members, yes, no, or whether you've not assigned them. After you've created the view that you want with the information you want, sorted the way you want, you can export this data. Go over here to the export button, and you can export all your data, all the data from this search result into an Excel file for you to do further analysis on. So this concludes the demo about server flex fields. If you have any questions about flex fields, definitely give us a call or send us an email, and we can chat with you about what you're thinking about and um, give you some starting pointers as to how you might want to create them. But really, this is up to you and how you want your business to run and the fields that will help you. Thank you very much.